The most common forms of ninja art in the Naruto franchise is ninjutsu, genjutsu, and taijutsu. Ninjutsu refers to any technique that utilizes chakra and allows the user to perform actions that any normal person wouldn't be capable of doing. Most of the time, the actions will be performed after weaving a hand sign or a combination of hand signs. However, genjutsu is quite different. Genjutsu is created when a ninja controls the chakra flow of a target's cerebral nervous system, thereby affecting their 5 senses. This is most often used to create fake images or trick the body into believing it has experienced physical sensations such as pain. In some rare cases, some ninja can go as far as to put you under a genjutsu that will allow you to mentally live out your entire life in a matter of milliseconds. But of course, feats like this can only be executed by the most skilled genjutsu users. And lastly is good old-fashioned taijutsu, hand-to-hand combat. While being the most simple form of ninja arts, it's also the most important when it comes to a good fight. Almost all of the most memorable and hyped up fights in the Naruto franchise has good to great taijutsu scenes. There's also some pretty cool subcategories of ninja art that were introduced later in the series, such as senjutsu, which is a mixture of nature energy and the user's own chakra, fuinjutsu, which is used to seal objects, living beings, or chakra, and juinjutsu, which brings someone under the control of the user by applying the seal to the victim's body. While ninjutsu is the most popular, what makes the fights in Naruto some of the best we've seen in not only the show, but all of anime, is the fact that it has a decent blend of all three. But until recently, another ninja art has been introduced into the series. Chakra-based techniques of the highest order possible, mainly used by the Otsutsuki clan. These divine techniques is called shinjutsu. Unlike ninjutsu, shinjutsu does not require any hand signs to be executed and enables the user to bring upon phenomena resembling the work of gods. Shinjutsu is so powerful, a model even considered ninjutsu to be an attempt at reproducing the effects of shinjutsu. In Boruto, we've seen a wide variety of this technique be used by other Otsutsuki, and some by artificial beings made with DNA from transcendent Otsutsuki. One of the most common shinjutsu we see in Boruto is the Karma Seal. Yeah, the Karma Seal is technically a form of shinjutsu. The Karma Seal allows the user to slowly overwrite the data of the vessel's body to match that of the Otsutsuki. In this state, the vessel will begin to undergo physical transformations such as growing horns and awakening their dojutsu. As of right now in the manga, the only people that are able to perform these divine techniques is Boruto, KAWAKI, Damon, Ada, and Code. But of course, for the sake of the video, we're going to be focused on our main protagonist, Boruto. So as always, if you're new to this channel, I would very much appreciate it if you would leave a like on the video because it does help the video and channel reach a wider audience. And this time, let's set a goal of 550 likes. You guys absolutely destroyed the last like goal I set of 500 likes. So let's see if we can do it again. But enough yapping, let's hop right into the video. Ever since Boruto has received the karma from Momoshiki back in chapter 10, Boruto has been fated to eventually become an Otsutsuki by having Momoshiki resurrect and take over his body as his ideal vessel. However, Momoshiki's plan came to a rough halt when KAWAKI briefly unalived Boruto, creating a gaping hole through his torso. In any normal situation, Boruto would of course have died, no question about it. But Momoshiki was forced to resuscitate Boruto to keep his precious vessel alive. In the process, he used the last 18% of the data that was going to be used for Momoshiki's revival to repair the damaged cells and tissue that Boruto lost to keep him alive. And as I said in multiple videos, this has never happened before. It's to be described as an anomaly, because this made it impossible for Momoshiki to fully resurrect through Boruto's body, while at the same time giving Boruto all of Momoshiki's hundreds of years worth of battle experience and abilities, and this includes his Shinjutsu. We've seen Momoshiki do many abnormal things throughout the series. This includes even freezing time and space itself during his conversations with Boruto. The true nature of this ability and whether it even is a Shinjutsu hasn't been revealed yet. It could turn out to be a whole nother dimension or reality for all we know. But if it is something that's exclusive to Momoshiki, you'd best bet to believe Boruto can also perform this ability, because basically they share a body now, like their body is fused. So think of it like Boruto being a Jinchuriki and Momoshiki is the tailed beast, but to an entirely different level. Although all of Momoshiki's abilities hasn't been completely explained yet, one ability that has been clear to us readers as early as the 7th chapter of Boruto is Momoshiki's ability to foresee someone's fate through the use of his Byakugan. Now, this isn't any normal ability of the Byakugan, but I expressed multiple times that it may be Momoshiki's Byakugan is different than any normal Byakugan, or it could be just a result of Momoshiki just having the ability of Foresight through his Otsutsuki genes, where when it got into descendants like Hinata or Neji, who said to be the pinnacle of the Hyuga and the best Byakugan user at that time, this forbidden ability of the Byakugan was lost. But the thing is, no other Otsutsuki that possesses the Byakugan has shown the ability or potential to use this technique, so it's most likely something currently only Momoshiki was able to do, being his own Shinjutsu. Momoshiki's Foresight ability doesn't allow him to just look into the future, it only allows him to see the future of another person, and that alone lets him see into the future. If you paid attention, Momoshiki predicted Naruto losing Kurama, saying he possessed so much power but has no means of passing it on to the next generation. Of course, now it kind of makes you question if that's what he really meant, because now we learned Himawari might have inherited Biju chakra from Naruto, if that even is the case anyway. But if that is the case, then maybe Momoshiki's Foresight ability only allows him to see so far into someone's fate. But based off what I said about how he can only see the future through other people, it's possible he can only see Naruto's fate up until the point where he got sealed into the Daikokuten dimension by Kawaki. And some people might be thinking, why doesn't Momoshiki just sear into his own fate to see the future? But in chapter 10, he stated his ability doesn't allow him to gaze into his own future. So of course, it would be the same for Boruto. It wasn't specified when Boruto started to manifest the abilities of Momoshiki, like the ability to fly, or even if he manifested Momoshiki's Rinnegan on his left hand. If I was to take a wild guess, I would say he started to manifest these abilities during his training with Sasuke. And if this is the case, the one person that Boruto would be able to see the fate of at first is Sasuke. It makes sense because as much as we know, Boruto was around Sasuke the most during these 3 years, and Sasuke suffered being absorbed by the Ten Tails. So if Boruto did know about the Ten Tails, it would have started with seeing through Sasuke's fate. I finally started to understand why Boruto was keeping his eye closed. He currently possesses Momoshiki's Byakugan in that eye, and if he opens it, he'll accidentally gaze into other people's fate. It's an uncontrollable power that Boruto currently possesses, and until he learns to control it, I suspect that eye will remain closed. I can only imagine his initial reaction. These abilities would terrify Boruto. To see a Rinnegan manifesting on his hand, or him getting weird visions every time he opened up his eye, to see your body slowly turn into that of an Otsutsuki must have been crazy for him. And to accidentally gaze into the fate of your dear friends and family, that alone is scary enough because you never know what you'll see. In chapter 8, Shikamaru asks Boruto how he knows so much about the Ten Tails, a question we all asked at least once. The many theory videos on YouTube about Boruto being a time traveler or being able to see into the future prove this. Ever since chapter 2, we knew Boruto had a little too much knowledge on the Ten Tails and the Divine Tree, and it mostly has to do with his Foresight ability. There's many ways this was possible. Even if Boruto could only see so far into Sasuke's fate because of his current position, you cannot forget, Momoshiki is still alive. Well, he's not alive, but he exists inside of Boruto, and he can still see into Boruto's fate. As Momoshiki's fate ties into Boruto's fate, their fates are intertwined at this point. And right now, Momoshiki's main goal is to make Boruto lose faith so he can surrender his body to him. So what's the odds that Momoshiki gazes into Boruto's future and tells him his fate, or about the Shinju? There's some way Boruto knew about the Shinju. Look at how he was talking to Code. It's like he was trying to warn him about something. Obviously Code didn't listen because he's a crash out. But it's obvious Boruto knew about the awakening before it even happened. And it has everything to do with his Foresight ability. But even though he knows about the awakening, he doesn't know if he'll be able to stop it and alter his fate. I believe right now, Boruto's seen something about his fate, or perhaps Momoshiki told him something about his fate that maybe led Boruto to believe he might have to sacrifice himself, or sacrifice something in order to save everyone. That's why his attitude towards getting his own life back, or being able to return home permanently, has always been in question. He has had a very nonchalant attitude towards the very idea. And if you want to hear me dive deeper on Boruto's fate and the tragic sacrifice that he might have to make later down the road to save everyone, then click the video in the top right corner. Many people might be thinking about the JOUGAN right now, because if I think Boruto's hiding a Byakugan, then obviously the JOUGAN doesn't exist. My simple answer to that is it doesn't. It doesn't exist in the manga, that is, but it does exist in the anime. I believe the JOUGAN is canon, but it's anime canon. To keep it brief, Boruto won't use the Byakugan to fight or anything, so you can give Boruto the JOUGAN in the anime and give it the ability of Foresight. The JOUGAN isn't like the Sharingan or the Rinnegan. It doesn't give you a crazy advantage in battle. Your fighting style isn't going to revolve around the JOUGAN. Therefore, you can successfully implement the JOUGAN into the series without majorly altering the story. I also made a video on anime canon versus manga canon in Boruto, and what we can expect Two Blue Vortex to look like when it eventually gets animated. So check that out if you still want to know more about the JOUGAN and how it will be implemented into the series. I feel Boruto's SHINJUTSU should and will be introduced into the story soon. Many people are wondering how he gotten so much knowledge on the Ten Tails and grow more and more suspicious of him every chapter. It's no coincidence that Ada wants to have a conversation with him. I don't know when this conversation will be, because right now there is much more urgent things that need to be taken care of. And I believe Boruto is about to fight his hardest battle yet against JURA and HIDARI, so that conversation might have to wait a few more chapters. But I think we learn a lot about Boruto's new Foresight ability very soon, either through the Ada conversation or sometime later. Let me know what you think about this new ability from Boruto and how you think it will be introduced and used throughout the story. And as usual, if you like this video and want to see more, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you turn on those post notifications so you don't miss any more videos like this one. And without further ado, I'ma see y'all in my next video. I'm out. Peace.